Hello everyone, I am currently in downtown San Antonio and I am at a very controversial location right now in modern San Antonio history, and we are at the site of the Institute of Texan Cultures. Now this building was built for the World's Fair back in 1968, also known to us San Antonians as Hemisphere 68. Now inside this building are artifacts of, you guessed it, Texan cultures. So I guess, as you can see here in the distance, there is a wagon, an old wagon there, and other artifacts that was stored in this building. Recently though, they have moved all the items that was in this building, I believe, into the first floor of the Frost Bank building in downtown San Antonio. The reason why they did this, I'm sure y'all are aware, they, and when I mean they, I mean the city, is in talks of tearing down this building and building a new Spurs arena here. Now, when the Spurs moved to San Antonio in like the 1970s, they had an arena here known as the Hemisphere Arena. And sometime in the 90s, they built, as you can see in the distance here, the Alamo Dome. You can see one part of the spire from the Alamo Dome there. And once the Alamo Dome was built, they tore down the Hemisphere Arena, which was somewhere around here. I'm not really sure exactly the exact spot. And then about 10 years later, after the Alamo Dome was built, 10 or 15 years later, they built the SBC Center, which turned into the AT&T Center, and now it's known as the Frost Bank Center. But now the city wants to move the Spurs back downtown, and specifically they want to place the stadium right here. Now there are many people that are against that, and I can see the reason why. First off, you know, this building was created for the World's Fair, like I mentioned, back in 1968. The design of this building is really unique in its own way, and it's also a remnant of that time. Now we have this building here, the Tower of the Americas, and the old federal courthouse building. You can see right there in the distance, right there, was also a part of the World's Fair exhibit. So they want to tear down this building and put a new stadium here for the Spurs. And I'm looking at the lot right now. I'm walking around here, and I can't see that happening. And the reason why is because it's just, the lot itself is not big enough for a stadium. It could fit, sure, but then you gotta think about parking. Now, the Alamo Dome, as you can see here, as we walk kind of towards it, the parking there, in my opinion, is not that great. So let's just say they do decide to build a stadium here. Well, there's not enough room for parking. And if you want to go to a Spurs game, you're gonna have to park at the Alamo Dome parking lot. And I don't really attend Alamo Dome much, but I remember when the Spurs won their championship back in 2014, they had some kind of celebration ceremony at the Alamo Dome, and when I attended, the parking lot was full, and I ended up having to park in someone's backyard in the neighborhood near the Alamo Dome. So with that being said, how do you expect to have people park here downtown if they were to build a stadium here? Now, I guess what you could do is build a parking garage, sure, but you gotta think about how many people attend Spurs games or any other kind of venue. So you gotta think about that for a second and think of, you know, where are we gonna place all these people that are attending this sporting event. And I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm supposed to be on the grounds right now here, but I'm here. But I really want to get a good look at the Institute of Texan Cultures, because in a year or two from now, this building might not exist. So I just want to say, I don't think it's possible to build a stadium here. I think, honestly, the Alamo Dome has to go, especially if you want more parking. If you expect people to park here, that has to go. But I know that won't happen, because I mean, the Alamo Dome at this point is pretty much a landmark of its own. And I believe part of the budget, the $4 billion plan that they have, or whatever it is, part of that plan is to renovate the Alamo Dome as well, which I don't really know why. Oh, I thought that was for me. The alarms are going off across the street over there in that apartment complex. But yeah, I really don't see how it's possible to do that. And I can tell you right now, there's something going on here at the old Institute of Texan Cultures. You can see in the distance, there's some dumpsters there. So I'm starting to wonder if demolition is already taking place here. That really got my attention there. So yeah, I mean, you could fit a stadium, like I said, on this piece of land, but it just doesn't make sense. And then you have I-37 and then Cesar Chavez. It's gonna be bumper to bumper out there on every game night. So I can't see that, or see this location as a good location to put the Spurs here. So here we are again at the front, or the main entrance of this building. Now, what are your thoughts? Do you think it would be a good idea to tear down this building that was part of the World's Fair in 1968 and build a new arena in this piece of land right here? Mind you, once again, you're not going to have any parking if an arena is built here. So do you think maybe, hey, you know, we have the Frost Bank Center. It's not that old. It's only like 20 years old. That's good enough. Do you feel like maybe the city should use whatever money that they're going to use to build a new stadium for some other purpose? Sure. Or do you think, you know, hey, no, it's a great idea to put a new arena here in downtown San Antonio? I can see that too. But again, you got to think about that traffic and parking. It just doesn't make sense. Now, if they were to build a stadium here, and I know there are people that are against that, and they're against tearing down this building here, wouldn't it be a great idea? I'm just, putting in my 2 cents. Wouldn't it be a great idea to, like, maybe, I don't know, use the facade of the building, save part of it, and maybe use it as the main entrance for whatever stadium they build? In other words, this could be the main entrance, and then behind it, you just build a completely new stadium. I don't know. It's just a thought, just to pay homage to what once was here, which was the Institute of Texan Cultures. Honestly, I've only been here once, and that was for a field trip back in the late 90s. So honestly, I never really visited this place much after that. I'm guessing there was like some kind of water fountain here. And yeah, I mean, I'm curious to know what y'all think, and I'm curious to see what the city decides to do. You can see here there's a bulldozer in the front right there. Makes me wonder, are they planning something or what's going on? Yeah, this was the main entrance right here, and as you can see, there are some signs saying that it is closed. So I want to see if we could like maybe get a look inside real quick. Oh, hi. Oh, okay. So there you have it. So as you saw right there, there is somebody still that guards the property, and I guess we'll just wait and see what happens on what the city decides. I don't think the people of San Antonio will have a say on it. Like I mentioned, I don't know, I'm kind of mixed on what to do with this building here. I think it should have just been left as is, personally, but a new stadium for the Spurs just doesn't make sense. I know they say like, well, Wemby is the future of the Spurs, and I totally agree. He's an awesome player, and I like the Spurs, but I really don't see it making any sense to bring a stadium, another stadium in downtown, especially if you have the Alamo Dome right across the street, right across the highway. So again, let's just have some discussion about what they should do with this place. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.